Hello, DeFiChain gang. I hope you are all doing great. Before we start, smash up the like button. Really important. Elbow, knuckles, whatever fits on the little button. Pump up the algorithm that everybody finds DeFiChain out there. Hey, I'm so happy to be back. First episode of DeFiChain Fireside Chat 2022. Really stoked, and it's gonna be a fun time. I mean, we had turbulent times the last couple of days in crypto. It was a real roller coaster ride up and down. I think it's time to chill a bit and take the eyes off the charts. So yeah, really kick back with me. I brought an awesome guest tonight. I don't want to say too much, just it's gonna be a fun time for sure. Every episode so far was awesome and I really truly enjoyed it. But tonight is in some way special again, because when I met this awesome dude from Germany, we've been on fire. And that's not only literally, we've really been on fire. But before we're gonna tell you the whole story and how everything started and how we became friends, let's welcome Fabian in. Fabian, good evening. How are you, my friend?
Hey, Mark.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, DeFiChain gang. I'm happy to be here. I'm honored to be here.
Cool. Hey, we've been talking so long already that you come on the show, but there were a couple of obstacles that we had to get out of this way. So yeah, welcome. Really good to have you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Cool.
I think we will have a fun time, and I think there are some interesting stories to tell, right?
Absolutely. Okay, I want to start how we met, because I think that's kind of special. I mean, you're the only guy I met in that way, and guys, don't misunderstand that. So, it's about, when was it? 2.5 years ago, I guess, right?
Right.
2.5 years. Yeah, it
2019.
was exactly. It was, I think, in October 19. So before the whole craziness with COVID started. And I decided I wanted to go and see Tony Robbins in a live event. It was Unleash Your Power Within. So it's actually the beginner seminar, or one of his most famous seminars. And they are always amazing. I mean, there are thousands of people there and crazy stuff. And it's like, how do you become a better person? And how can you self-develop yourself? And how it's, yeah, a ton of things that you learn and do. And I went there, I knew nobody, I was there completely alone, and I bumped into a group of awesome people from all over the world, and one of them was you, actually.
It's so funny. It's also so funny to sit now in this like virtual room, right? And 2.5 years we were jumping in this big arena, and yeah, I mean Tony Robbins was the same for me. I always wanted to go there, and I've heard a lot of it, but everything you see online and what you hear, it's nothing compared to when you're there, right? And then you meet really nice people, and yeah, we literally, you said it in the beginning, we walked over fire. We had the fire walk. It was the first day, right? I mean,
it was the first day in the evening, and the whole day like was leading up to this event. I think, Fabian, tell them the story. How did this work? How did it go? Because we were really walking on freaking hot coals on that evening, right?
Yeah, I mean, the whole day, it was like, it started in the morning, and we were up early, and then you had to stood in line, and I mean, we were right in front of the stage, right? So we were right in the
epicenter of the action, yeah.
And it was so cool. And then Tony was like, the whole day he was, okay, tonight we're gonna walk on fire, and if you can walk on fire, you can do anything and everything you want. And we were like, oh yeah, fire. I've heard of that, but and he always said, you want to do this, really, believe me. And if you think you won't do this, I think you will. And you don't have to be afraid. And we have, our staff is trained and so on. And I was like, okay, I mean, I'm here, so I will do this, but I don't know how, really. I've never walked on fire or glass or anything. And my feet are not like thick and I was like, what? And then you remember we had the meditation before, I think. So he was always telling, like,
but it took
you have to be in the state
right?
of mind.
It took forever that we actually could really walk. So we were all kind of falling out of that trance situation, right?
I kind of fall asleep, I think. So we were lying on the floor and had this meditation that everything will be okay. And I'm probably was really lax, like kind of fell asleep. And then I think they lighted up. They had like 10 lanes or 12 lanes of really cold, and I think it was a few. Do you know how long it was? I mean, it was a few meters, right?
No, it was a couple of meters. It's like you walk through a big living room or something. I think it was about like
Yeah,
between 5 and 10 meters, something like this.
yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I mean, then I think 6,000 people wanted to walk on these 12 lines, or let's say 20 lines of fire. And since we were in the front of the stage, we were kind of the last to get out, right? And they always heated it up again, and you hear it when they heat it up, and they say, "Now it's fresh fire, and now it's hot." You know, no,
Now it's
I
really
don't know
hot.
if I
Get on
don't
that.
know if I want to have it hot, right? And yeah, and then we walked outside, and this took a while. I mean, and we were standing right next to each other, and we talked a lot. I remember that, and we were like, okay, now it's our time. Now we go out, and then you go out, and I mean, it's an awesome experience, right? And he said, or they say, you have to like be in the state of mind, make your move, and then you have to say cold moss when you walk
Yeah,
over.
right.
And it was so, I don't know, I mean, for you it was probably same, or in the same part different for everyone, but for me it was like I was so focused, and I was like I was up in space somehow, really. And then I walked over it, and they stopped me because the staff is there, and they look after you and so on, and you are on a cold mat, I think, so that your feet are getting cold again. And they had to stop me. I probably would have walked like for a few kilometers or miles, because I was so in this
You were
cold.
so psyched up, yeah, in that situation.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Now, it was fun. So we spent 3 days together. So there was a couple of people out there. So hi to everybody. If you are watching us tonight, we shared the link. We haven't seen you guys for a long time. But we didn't talk one word actually about crypto that day. I didn't even know that you invested in crypto. I didn't even know, I mean, I didn't know that you're in DeFiChain. It was kind of really weird because we had complete different focus. It was all about how can we improve our life and what are our life plans and goals and stuff. And then we kind of, I don't want to say we lost connection. We stayed always in contact through WhatsApp and stuff, right? Through our Dream Team Singapore, the Firewalker chat that we had. And I don't know what happened, but one day I think we said, hey, we have to make a catch-up call. We really have to make a catch-up call.
Yeah.
And then we got on a Zoom call, and we started talking more and more. And I think you said in that call, then you said, hey, actually, I've seen you on YouTube. And
yeah, right. I was like, and as you said, we haven't talked about like crypto or
not at all.
even business and stuff, just like a lot of personal things and goals in life and stuff like that. And then I was already in DeFiChain and in DeFi invested, and then I saw this. I think it was a kind of one of your shows, and you were there.
I think it was one of the first videos that I did with Julian at that time, right?
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
very
right.
beginning.
And I was like, no, what? And it's such a small world. I mean, we walked side by side. We walked over fire, and now like here we are again. And then we had this catch up call, and a few in between already. And it's nice to get together again over this.
And now we don't talk about life goals anymore. Now it's only crypto and NFTs and DeFiChain and all the other stuff. So our conversation kind of changed a little bit over the last couple of months, I guess, right? Hey,
but I think it's connected, right? I mean,
it is.
It's part of our lives.
Exactly, you're so right, because it became part of all our life, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how we met, guys. That was actually pretty freaking crazy, but it was an awesome experience. We have to do this again one day or the other. We're gonna jump together out of an airplane without parachute or something. We need another level. Hey, Fabian, I know you quite well now already. I think I can call you a friend. It's really cool to exchange a lot of thoughts with you. Maybe tell the guys out there, our fantastic DeFiChain community, a little bit more. Where do you come from? What are your roots? Just that they understand Mr. Fabian, the Bored Ape, the NFT guru a little bit better, because this all gonna lead up then to the next kind of chapters that we wanna talk about. That would be awesome if you could do that.
Sure. Yes. So I'm Fabian. I'm 37 years old, have 2 kids, live in Munich, or lived in Munich actually, now still in Germany in the Black Forest. And so my roots are actually German. I just say that because a lot of people ask, and I really like Asia and I travel a lot there, but I'm not
Because the
Asian.
light settings
It's
made you look like Vietnamese or something like this before, right?
yeah, we tuned the lights up and down, and now
Now you
not
look
so
so yellow, right?
now again. And yeah, so my story is basically that I for a long time I worked for a big telecommunications company in Germany, but also abroad sometimes on projects. And I traveled with my wife. I traveled the world for 1 year. We had a kind of sabbatical, and this changed my life a lot. And I was thinking about my life and going to the self-development area and questioning what I want to do in my life. And then from that on, I changed it kind of completely. So I went back to the company still. And I mean, I nice colleagues, and it was always interesting. And I worked kind of in between marketing and tech all the time in different roles, like project management and product development and stuff like that. So this is what I'm kind of still doing today, and probably why I'm also so enthusiastic about crypto, because of the tech side, but also because of the possibilities, right? And but then, as I said, we together with my wife, we questioned what we want to do, and we got family, and then we said, okay, we want to have basically more freedom, and I think freedom is also an important part for a lot of people in crypto, right?
Absolutely.
And then we founded our own business. So we have a kind of startup in the let's say book business. So my wife is a writer, and she's a coach, and she was always coaching people on how to write a book. And then we said, okay, maybe we can take this coaching side business and make a full-time business out of it, a family business. And that's what we did. So that's what we are still doing. And this was also like 2.5 years back in when we met in Singapore. It was this phase where we started it a few months ago then, and it was a lot of change in my life, and this was why it was so important for me to go there and to really think about or act on my goals. And I've been in crypto since 2017. So probably I tell the story later. I think we come to that, but it's always been a part. But in the last, let's say, 1 to 2 years or 2 years, it was getting like a bigger part, right? I was more interested in. I was more in it's not only about the money and investing, but it was like, okay, there's really something on it, and this is also how I came to NFTs. So today, to make a full circle, I'm still entrepreneur, and we still run the business, but I'm kind of taking myself out a bit. So we automated a lot of processes, and we have a team now, and I take part of my time to go deeper into the crypto and especially NFT rabbit hole, because it's so fascinating. And I see you doing the same. So you're 100% into DeFiChain and the crypto world. And I mean, it's a nice community. There are nice people, and it's so much to discover, to learn, and that's why we are here now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you mentioned it already. So you got 2017 into crypto. That's about the same time like me, right? So I assume, or before we talk about what did you buy first, because I ask everybody what was the first coin you bought and how much did you pay for, because I think we all have fond memories of these times, especially if you see the prices today. But how did you get into crypto? I mean, who told you about it, or what's the story behind?
I read a lot about it from, I would say, 2014, 15 on, and I was interested in it because of the kind of, I think, because of the tech side, and this is how I get the articles and stuff. And then I remember there was one event in actually Asia again in Bangkok. I was there for my company back then, but it was a like big summit, and we met people from all over the world. And there was this one guy I spent a lot of time with, and it was over also I think 5 or 6 days, from Argentina, and we worked for the same company basically. But he was saying, okay, next month. So this is my last month in this company, and I quit because I'm going full time into Bitcoin, and
Oh,
I
wow.
open my Bitcoin business. I think some kind of exchange and consulting back then. And he was so. I mean, everyone knows the people, and probably we are kind of the same now
Yeah,
and then.
now we are
Um,
kind of the same, right?
um, and he was like talking only about Bitcoin the whole day and how fantastic it is. And I've read about it before, but I hadn't really kind of an understanding, and I was not invested as well. It was like, yeah, and you have to open an account, and then I can also send you some satoshis, and you have to do this. And I was like, yeah, I do this, and I actually started. It was end of 2015, so October 15 or something like that, and I opened a Coinbase account, but I didn't buy. So as it always is, I think life was interfering, and I was back to work and back to life, and so I kind of we stayed in touch a little bit, a few emails, but then also lost the contact, and so I didn't invest then, unfortunately. And somehow in 2017, before the hype, but it was already starting in the beginning of like January, February 17, I think. I don't know. I can't say there was a special kind of event that triggered it, because I always in the time in between, I was always thinking about, yes, you wanted to buy Bitcoin, and I was like, okay, maybe I check again. Tomorrow I will do it. And then tomorrow was finally 2017, and that's when I jumped in. And of course, it was Bitcoin. So
Okay. Well,
like
what was the
like
price and how much did you buy at that time?
I was
Not
very
enough, I think, has the answer to be here for sure,
not
right?
not enough. Yeah, I should have bought more. I think that's a common
Common mistake we
common
all
thought.
did. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was a few €100 back then, and the price was around like 800 to 1,200 euros.
Okay.
So I think it, compared to now, I mean, it's a perfect time to jump in, right? And what was in hindsight, I kind of bought over like 2 or 3 times, I think, and spend a few €100, or maybe then let's say 1,000, 2,000 euros. And I monitored it for the first time, and saw it going up, and was like, oh yeah, nice decision, a good one. And then I lost track again. So the interesting part is that I missed the ICO hype. So
Oh,
I missed it
seriously?
yeah, and it's I don't know why, actually, because I still like read about, or I saw that there's a lot of things happening, but I always thought to myself and said to myself, okay, you have to kind of understand what you are doing before you just jump in because of greed, and then maybe you can which happened obviously to some people. You can lose everything, and I think, yeah, I think you were quite active, right?
I was
in
very
the
active.
ICO phase.
The ICO phase was like complete madness and mayhem. I was throwing money after every shitcoin under the sun at that time. And I just recently had a look at my list, and I thought, holy shit, what did I buy at that time? Yeah. Okay, so you were definitely the smarter 2017 than I was.
Actually, I don't know if it's. I mean, I think you have to make some experiences yourself, right? You can learn a lot from others, but some experiences you have to make yourself. And I see myself sometimes now in the NFT space, and when I just think about what I bought in the last months, some of them are probably, or
Are worse
think
than
also
some
the
ICO
crazy
in 2017,
is,
I
yeah,
guess.
absolutely. I think the craziness is kind of the same,
Okay.
and people are, especially in the like bull runs, and when everything is going like manic, then people are just buying everything, and me included. And if you have these experiences, then you are smarter the second time, right? So
Absolutely. I think it's so true what I said. Everybody has to make the experience. Funny enough, I'm now far more hesitant to buy into new stuff. So I kind of had my crazy time. But we want to talk about NFTs a little bit in a later stage. Okay, so
yeah.
we got this ready. So you've been but between buying Bitcoin and getting into NFTs, there was a long stretch. And then what happened? How did you get into
Right.
DeFiChain? Because I think that's what the people out there most likely are really excited to hear. Whose fault is
Yeah.
it, and how did it happen?
Yeah, so from 17 on, I was so I never sold any Bitcoin then, and also I noticed it was like crashing,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, okay, I mean, I kind of lost. It was from I mean, I haven't invested in when it was at 20K, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was not that bad, but it was also like, oh, I lost kind of a lot, and now the remaining part I just leave it there. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
there's a second run, um, and that was kind of smart as well, but only by accident, right? So I was lucky then. And 2019, I took a little bit, and when it was going up again, I took a little bit out and said, okay, maybe I can use this money just. And but then I came back into crypto like really hard, and I saw all this. For me, 2019 was really the game changer. And as I said, we I I was I quit my job as well, and I think it was beginning of 19. And before this, I was on parental leave, so I had the time really to think about other stuff. And we moved and we founded our business. And this was this kind of in 2019 the where all the change happened. And
Mm-hmm.
then I really like looked at what else is there besides Bitcoin, and what is the difference, what does it mean, what can crypto do, and also stumbled about like the whole DeFi possibilities and ecosystem then. And I also followed Julian
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube, and saw some of his like videos. And there's this he also has this community, so I was part of the business community, and then somehow got in the crypto community because it's so close, right? and um, and yeah, a lot of people told me, yeah, you have to look here and look at this. And so I stumbled about DeFiChain right in the beginning, and I was like, wow, this sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And um, there is a community building, and I have trust in this community. I have trust in also what Cake is doing, and how they set up, um, or how the general setup is between like DeFiChain and really blockchain. And also a company that offers you access really in the beginning. And but I was also kind of hesitant in terms of allocation. So I've jumped in right in the beginning, and was absolutely good decision. But again, I could have should have bought more, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's whatever you do, I think it should fit to your like personal risk strategy or risk averseness, and how you if you are able to lose money or not, if you have a family or not, if you have a job that a regular income. And I think that all counts in. And so I don't regret anything. And
Mm.
but I followed like the it was kind of my first really DeFi experience. And I'm still um, as I think a lot of our listeners and people in the DeFi chain community are really like this project and have a trust in this project. And especially I think in the last month, that were for all of us quite hard for a lot of reasons. You can see that there is this trust, and the community is holding together, and it's cool to see.
Yeah. So you said a couple of really interesting things. So I can see, even if you said twice now already, you could have invested more, right? But there's no regrets, right? You made peace with the situation. We can't go back in time, and I think that's very important, because, and you're also not the kind of guy who FOMOs in like crazy. You are really thinking the things through before you do the steps. I think you said something super interesting in our when we set up the like kind of the technical equipment here. You said, and you just mentioned it again, we went through a couple of rough weeks over Christmas and New Year. We had a couple of updates that didn't go so well. We had this exploit on the chain of these very questionable individuals out there that we are right now chasing after, and it looks pretty good. But it was, I don't want to say it was a do or die situation, but it was kind of hard, right? And let's talk. I want to talk a little bit how the community actually was dealing with this. I have my opinion that how did you see this situation? How did you feel, and what was your kind of thought process in all these ups and downs that we had over the last couple of weeks?
So just in general, and I think this is pretty important. You sometimes have to just kind of take a step back, right, and just see what happened in the past, and what will probably tell us that for the future, and not let your emotions rule everything. Either way, not in a greedy way when everything is going up, and not in this kind of fear, and there's
uncertainty,
there's fear all over the street, and uncertainty, doubt, and so I think this is pretty important, and I try to remember this when I kind of look at my portfolio, or when I make decisions. And so I would say I'm still kind of relaxed, because I have trust in the coins I'm invested in, and in the general like ecosystem as well. And for the DeFi chain especially, I kind of saw all these things happen, and of course it was like this high in the beginning of December, when like DeFi was really going up, and all these new possibilities with the stocks and so on, and then it was like going down, and it was a little bit frustrating. I'm honest, I can admit that. But and then I saw also what was happening with the updates, and the exploit especially. And for myself, I saw that it's kind in the community, it's kind of it's not this this big event when everyone is kind of thinking now it's over, it's crashing. And probably that would have been the case for other blockchains or other ecosystems. And I saw this not happening, and so I kind of laid back, relaxed, and I have to say I didn't follow every step of it. So I have had enough trust, and I still have enough trust in DeFiChain. And I think probably there are a lot of people within us that think the same, and I think that's a good thing, right? So this is what. So I'm not really, and I was not like every second on Telegram. And
but it's a good sign, right? Because if you would have shit your pants at that time, you must have been, you would have been glued to your screen and checked out every change and what happened. But like, I understand kind of
for you it was probably stressful, and you had the whole day like firefighting and
but firefighting, firewalker, right? I think it's name of the game. But no, I agree. I think it gave a lot of people the trust that the right things are happening. And what I really loved at that time is that the community came together and tried to fix the problem. Like, there are so many awesome people out there who said, okay, it's tough times, let's fix it, let's sort it out, and then look for a solution and move on. And It's not forgotten, definitely not. I mean, there's a lot of
And
stuff
it's
going on,
quite
but
it was quite transparent as well. I mean, you went online a lot of times, and
yeah, Julian was there,
that,
DC was there, so many people were actually really.
everyone had updates, and there was a clear communication. I think this also builds trust, but it's not. I think the seed was planted in the beginning, right? So the whole time the communication is quite open, and so everyone has built trust already on that, and that's why probably not so many people were freaking out. Probably a few were, which is kind of normal.
Yeah.
But I think in general, the community, like, you can see, hold together and really, yes, stick together and to manage it and to just overcome it. And I think we are on a good way there. And yeah,
Absolutely.
besides, like, everything was crashing, except for NFTs, but everything was crashing.
We're gonna talk about
the
that
last
very
weeks.
soon. Yeah. Let's shift. Last question, and then we shift gears to
Sure.
the main topic. What products are you using on DeFiChain? Just to understand, are you staking? Are you liquidity mining? Are you doing? Are you investing in D token? Are you liquidity mining D token? Are you having a vault? If you want to talk about that, just very quickly in a minute. What product do you love? What do you do?
So I kind of tried everything. So I started with lending and staking, and also did liquidity mining with the wallet, and so by myself. And I also, as I said, in December, started to mint D tokens, and also went into liquidity mining with them. But right now, I think I'm still into D tokens. I'm not that much liquidity mining anymore, because I'm looking always for a way to kind of minimize the risk and have the most trust, and not, as I said, not too many emotions. So my vault is, I would say, pretty safe. So I have a relative high collateralization rate, and I'm not. I mean, there are a few people, and I always kind of admire them. They are really going close.
Or you think they're really stupid, right? Most likely.
Yeah, it's. I mean, probably history will tell, right? But that's nothing for me, because I don't want to look every minute on.
You mean
on
when
the
they drop their
and,
collateralization ratio very close to 150, right? So that's what you're talking about. Like they really kind of play hard out there. Yeah. Time will tell.
And going probably all in, and that's so.
It's not your game.
It's not my game. I mean, it's, as I said, everyone has another situation, right? And probably if I had some money and would be, let's say 18, 19, and no family and no, I could eat I mean, I can still eat just rice, but my kids would not be so. So now it's for 3 months. We have only rice, kids. So yeah, it's not my game. So I'm still invested in it, but you
play it safer. Let's put it like this.
I playing more safe game, and I'm also not all in DeFiChain. But it's quite part of my portfolio.
Yeah, now it's interesting to see, right? So I speak with so many people about what's their strategy, what do they do, and I don't know. You speak to 20 people, you get 20 different strategies, and I think it became really, really exciting to find your way. There are many options now.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go to.
And that's why just last thing. That's why I tested everything, because to find something that works for me. And I mean, with the D token introduction, I moved like from staking and liquidity mining over there.
Okay.
And especially in the beginning, so I was at that time I was for a few weeks in Portugal, and I was on a crypto meetup in Lisbon. It was quite funny, because I also met a guy from our DeFiChain network, and we talked. So we were like talking about DeFi in general, and then he was like, "Yeah, and there's this DeFiChain. I don't know if you know it." And I was like, "Yeah, I know it." And there was another guy in this round. He was like, "What is it? Tell me about it." And then we were like starting. Oh yeah, and the D tokens, and I mean, what's your strategy? And we can do it. What are you doing? And which which D tokens are you buying, and are you going in which pool are you going? And it's so fascinating just to have this kind of nerd talk, right? And I think it's just no one out of the community or who's not into this would understand,
Doesn't
right?
really
And they would
understand.
like,
Yeah.
are you some kind of, but it was funny, and so I tried everything, and then I tried for me to optimize in a way where I have some profits and have a good exposure, but don't have to be like all the time in an alert mode and watching everything so close. And for now it worked quite well. So
Cool. Awesome. So, and now we're really gonna shift gears dramatically. Now we have to talk about NFTs, because I think there are a lot of people out there who are really NFTs, and I advertised you as the big NFT guru. So you spend a lot of time, like you always say, investigating and learning about the things. NFTs for me, I think NFTs are really cool, right? I don't understand so much. I'm the DeFi guy. I mean, what do you want to say? I spent the whole day with DeFiChain. For me, this is my life at the moment. I would like to learn more. We had a couple of really cool conversations about it already, and I learned already a lot from you. But maybe the community would really like to hear. So, what fascinates you about NFTs? Then I want to talk about prices in NFT. I wanna absolutely talk about how is the NFT market compared to the crypto market? Is it crashing in the same way? Is it going anti-cyclic? What's the game here? So I really want to hear all your insights on that. So with what do
okay,
you
so
want to start? Maybe what's the crazy part, and why do you like it so much?
I hope you brought some time.
Yeah, no
So,
worries.
and
I
there's
brought my tea
there's
here.
there's this joke where like you say, oh, I'm drinking tea, and I'm like, oh yeah, let's talk about NFTs. And nice that you mentioned it, right? So I could talk like the whole day about it, but
You've got
so
20 seconds.
I've got 20 seconds. So yeah, NFTs are great. Just go into the rabbit hole and
Go all in, throw everything after
go on.
monkey. So
Just every monkey project is
is
awesome. Just
awesome.
buy it.
What was your first NFT, and why did you buy your first NFT?
Actually, it was a Bored Ape. So I'm a lucky holder of a Bored Ape, but I kind of FOMOed in as well, in a in a thoughtful way, if that's possible. So I mean, NFTs were really like starting out in kind of end of 2020, and with especially the whole NBA Top Shots thing. And I saw it, and I invested some time in it, and then I was like, no, that's not my thing, because I've never been a kind of collector. I've never had this sticker albums where you have this Panini and then football stuff. And I mean, I had this as a kid, but I never get a full
You never had your full album, so
full,
you were not a
full
collector. You
magazine.
just
And
did it because everybody did
no,
it at the time. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, kind of. And I know, and I'm not the collector. And I had a friend who like the Smurfs. He collected the Smurfs, and he was like the expert on Smurfs, and had really some valuable ones. And I was always, okay, that sounds interesting, but it's not my thing. And so I missed kind of the first wave, because I said, okay, it's not my thing. And then in kind of summer last year, there was kind of cool down period in between, and then it really took up again, and I was like looking again. And somehow when I researched about NFTs then, and why is there this hype, and what can you do with it, then somehow it made click, right? It was like, okay, it's not that you're collecting only pictures, or I mean, you can right click save them, and so everyone can have this ape or this cat or whatever, and right click save it. But it's not about that, but it's about the possibilities. And basically, for me it's a kind of potential mass market adoption tool for blockchain technology and for crypto, because I think the whole DeFi space, you have to really love it, right? I mean, I know a lot of people who are deep into it, and they love it, I mean, we can talk hours about it. But I also know about a lot of people, for them is investing is just a dry topic, and they don't want to spend time with thinking about money and math and numbers and stuff. And so also the whole DeFi ecosystem is probably they are happy going to a bank, right? And yeah, I mean, as crazy as it sounds, there are people that are still putting their money.
But for me,
on the bank.
to interrupt you here,
Yep.
for me, like DeFi, right? For me, there's kind of, okay, it makes me more independent. I can take a loan out decentralized. So now you tell me that buying a monkey makes more sense than being my own bank. So explain me that. Explain
Yeah.
that to me. Fantastic English. Explain that to me. Why buying a monkey makes more sense than being my own bank? I mean, you know, this
Because-
is a sarcastic
yeah,
question,
yeah.
but what's the
So
story?
over the last I mean, it's not a year yet, so we have to see how it plays out. But over the last year, especially, there are some projects in NFT that kind of blew everything away, right? And the Bored Apes are one of them. And I think they're right now the number one NFT project, and everyone is looking up to it, and everyone wants to, or a lot of projects want to copy it.
How much is a Bored Ape
so-
at the moment for the people who don't know that out there?
So
Average.
it's,
What's they call it floor price, right? That's like the average lowest price they go for at the moment on the open market.
the floor price is exactly the lowest. Actually, the lowest price where you can buy one. So
Okay.
I mean,
What's
not everyone is selling.
Around what's the
I think
floor price?
it's around kind of 95 right now.
95
ETH.
dollars. ETH. Okay.
ETH.
So let's do the math. How
Dollars
much is
would be nice.
How much? Yeah. How much is ETH today? I've got no idea. Do you know what's the ETH price today?
Me neither. Just you can
Okay,
check.
I don't know. Around
I bring out the
$2,000
calculator.
something. So we've got $2,500. Let's say $2,500. And you say 90. So let's do the math here. 2,500
95.
by, you said 95.
Okay, you did the math.
Yeah, wait, okay, let me get that right here. 2,500 by 95. So $237,500 for a monkey. I mean, for a dead monkey, for monkey picture. It's nuts.
For
right?
a monkey
Isn't it?
picture.
Yeah.
It's absolutely nuts. But
Okay.
as I said, it's not about the picture, and it took me a while to really understand it. And I think it's not, you can't compare really this project to the whole NFT space, because there are a lot of like pictures out there where you buy, let's say let's say a bat or something, or a duck, or whatever animal, or
Why is it all animals? Why is it all animals?
I think this was one of the trends. I mean, there's a lot of monkeys. There are a lot of copycats of the Bored Ape, and so monkeys are quite. The story behind the Bored Ape Yacht Club is actually that they say, okay, it's some years in the future, I think 2035, and all of these crypto investors are like multi-billionaires, and they are so bored and they don't know what to do with their time, and so they have this.
That's the story for this.
That's the story, and that's why they called it that way. And I mean, it's totally crazy. Let me tell the story how I get in there, because it's so crazy.
Because buying a monkey for 237,000, I think you need a good story and a good reason to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it was cheaper back then. I mean, to buy a monkey now, I mean, it's you have to really have a kind of big bankroll to do this, and really love trust. I mean, there's also one reason why it's going up. I think a lot of kind of VIPs and football stars and NBA stars and entertainers and everything. I mean, it's going from really a community project where you have some crazy kind of crypto and NFT people. It's going to a kind of elite club, and I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but at least I think it's a good thing for the NFT space, because it gets more visibility, and I mean, it's a story that people like, and you can have. I mean, it took a lot of weeks to mint, right? Mint is the
giving birth
the initial.
Okay.
Yeah, when it's kind of initiated on the blockchain, if you really, when you first buy it, and the mint price was, I'm not really sure, I think 0.1 08 or something like this. It was really, and there were people like having 30, 50, 10 apes, whatever, and they probably sold with 2 ETH. I mean, it's a few hundred X, and
It's always like this, right? You always sell too early. I
yeah.
think that was the same here. When did it take really off? When was like when did the
So it
mania
was
set in?
actually in I think it was in end of July, August, and I monitored this project and a few other projects from in July, and thought about going to NFT space. And it was before, okay, I mean, if you spend a few thousand euros on a picture that that has to be decided well, right? So as I said, I'm not really kind of foaming in. And then it took off, and I remember I was sitting with my wife on her birthday, and the kids were sleeping, and we were at a nice hotel, and we were sitting having a drink, just talking, and and then we kind of got on this topic, and I was like, yeah, actually, I'm thinking about buying a picture of a monkey, and it's like 6,000 euros. And she was, what? And I was like, yeah, because there is this NFT thing, and it's on the blockchain, and you get access to the community.
So you
And
ruined
there's
her birthday actually with that
probably
comment.
so I think maybe so until now it's a good story. So if tomorrow the ape is at kind of 0, or it's like crashing, then I ruined her birthday.
So you kind of bought this thing for, you just said it, I didn't ask you, for about 6,000 to 8,000 euros at that time.
Actually, it was going up, and until I had because you need the Web3 wallet and stuff, and you have to have it funded, and until I had it like this, it was at 16 ETH, and 16 ETH was like 33,000 euros back then. And so I was really kind of going nuts there, and this was the FOMO part. I mean, I probably would have said, okay, I don't go in, but I was so, and at that point I was so deep into believing that NFTs are a great thing, and and I come to the reason for that in a minute. And I had a lot of trust, and the Bored Apes, I mean, they are the punks, obviously, and the crypto punks, and they were like, I don't know the price then, maybe also like 50,000 and up. Wow. And nobody could afford a punk anymore, and the Bored Apes were like this project in press and in magazines and all over the internet, in this space at least. And so I just jumped in, and I mean, it was probably late at that time, and I mean, it was already like 4x from where I wanted to start.
Wow.
But yeah, I still trusted, and that's why now I'm a lucky holder of
Cool.
one, and I think also the journey so far, it just accelerated my journey, right? Because I went into the project, I minted some, and then the craziness started. I minted some stuff, I bought into everything, and there's a lot of crap out there, right? But there are still you call it blue chip NFT projects as well. There are some projects that really kind of do some things right, so they have a good team who's really invested in and developing the project. They are either building a strong community, which is, I think, an important part as well, so that it's not about just flipping. And that's also not, I learned that in the last months, it's not my game. So I mean, you can mint a lot for probably cheap compared to prices we have out there. You can mint a lot of projects and NFTs, and then just sell them for 2, 3, 5x. And this is a strategy I think for a lot of people is working quite well. But it's, again, not my kind of strategy, because you have to be on it, you have to be in the mints, and in the crazy times, it's just, I mean, the projects mint out or buy out in minutes.
It's exactly
today,
like ICOs.
and
it's exactly the same story. Like with
yeah,
ICOs,
absolutely.
You wanted to get an allocation, you want to get in, you had to get on the whitelist. You were throwing money at these projects. Everybody was like going in and flipping the stuff. So it sounds very, very similar for me in some way. But
Yeah,
you're staying away from that.
I think I think it is, and I think that probably what like 95% of the projects we have today are probably not surviving the next months, years, not, also especially not years. So I hope some of the ones where I invested in or where I'm part of will, and there are probably good projects coming. And what the reasons for NFT and why it kind of got me is the possibilities. So we
What
have
are the
with NFTs,
possibilities?
we have,
That's the point I want to drill down now, because I understand it's a good investment, right? But this reminds me also of Bitcoin, what is also a good investment. So what are the possibilities? And
yeah,
in DeFi, what makes me so comfortable in DeFiChain is that the price goes up, the price goes down, I get my liquidity mining rewards, my staking rewards, and that stuff, right? So what
yeah.
are the opportunities in NFT beside buying it and holding it? What do you do with that thing?
I think that's the point. From an investment perspective, it's probably sometimes smart and sometimes not. So, I mean, you can, there is, there are platforms coming where you can also use it as collateralization, for example.
Okay.
So you can get loans on it. And I think it will, the whole ecosystem will develop in that direction. So it's kind of a crossover possible between NFTs and DeFi as well. But I think what fascinates me most is the possibilities for like just the economy, the communities, for creators and artists, because it kind of changes the game, and it makes also, you use this kind of blockchain technology, and with the NFT you have some kind of let's say certification that you are the owner, right? So it's we're talking about now about ownership in the digital space, and this is something we had with crypto already, and in a certain way, but not for a lot of things, and NFT can change that from my point of view. So when you compare kind of web 1, where you can just, it's kind of read, right? You have all these links and you can read stuff and you have information all over, and then you have web 2, where all this communication and social media and exchange, so read and write comes in. And now you can, in web 3, you can like read, write, and own. And this, I think over the, I don't know, 5 or 10 years that are coming, this will change a lot of industries, that will change a lot of, probably a lot of things that we can't even assume right now. Or I mean, it's probably a lot of people compare to the internet in the 90s, right? Where when it started, and they were probably, we have also the same hype, and then a bubble which is kind of busting, and then it's going down, everything. And but I think we will have some projects and some use cases on a lot of different topics. I mean, for artists, it's now possible to interact really close with their followers, right? And they can invest, and they can buy an NFT, for example, and they can even sell the NFT later. And if they sell it, the artist gets a kind of commission out of that, which is probably different than today in the whole, like, for music, for digital artists, for so I mean, it's kind of endless, right? We could, that's exactly why I maybe we come later to that. I started a podcast
Yeah,
about this topic.
let's talk about the podcast. The podcast is about, I know you've been talking about your podcast for ages. It finally took off. How many times did I have to send you a message? Is the podcast live?
Thank you for kicking ass, and that's why I announced it also to trusted people and friends, because I wanted to have my ass kicked. I
The
wanted to.
podcast of Fabian is actually linked down in the show notes. Check it out. It's really cool. How many episodes are there already?
There are 8 already.
Okay.
And there are more to come. And one reason I started it, because NFTs are, and it will focus. So in the beginning, it was like a little bit more on crypto in general, and also on crypto use cases. But I will focus in the future more on NFTs, because there are so many possibilities and so many great projects out there. And I just want to make it more like feasible or understandable what is possible. And as I said, I mean, there are a lot of industries that are probably getting disrupted by NFTs, and a lot of possibilities for investors, for collectors, for creators, and so for gamers. So gaming is a different story. So long story short, there are a lot of possibilities, and I wanted to show them, and I wanted to show use cases and talk with people that are in the space, that are doing something, that are maybe investing in projects and why they are investing, to make this, especially for beginners and people that are coming new into the space, that they somehow have some information they can build on. And also for me, it's the selfish goal with this is that I learn a lot better by producing content, of course, right?
This is
Because
very interesting that you say that, Fabian. Sorry to interrupt, because I've heard that from, we have a couple of really talented creators out there that really also helping out on DeFiChain. And everybody tells me the same story. They say, if I have to prepare it to explain it to other people, if I'm able to do it, then I really understood it. And I think that's a big driver for content creators out there. Yeah,
I think so. And it's for me as well. And I notice myself reading differently if I read with having in mind to probably build content on top of it, or put it somehow in the context of my content, or if I just read and consume and forget within seconds, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the selfish part about the podcast, but it's also about like educating people, showing the possibilities, and making it somehow tangible, right? Because it's the topic can blow your mind, and it certainly did it for me. And you have to. It can be also quite time consuming, and this is the reason why the podcast started so late. We had a big project within our business, which was kind of more than a full-time job, and I just didn't manage to really have also equality and stability in terms of I produce at least one episode every week, and that's why it took a while. But I think it's the waiting was worth it, and I have a lot of interesting guests coming. And yeah, basically what we are doing is taking examples, like for example my story in the Bored Ape history, and what I've done after it, and also people that are doing different things and going into, like I had one guest who is into the football manager game with NFTs, and you can really earn money by it. So it's also like fun plus investing, right? So you have money and fun, or and freedom out of it. And so this is what fascinates me, and there's so much to it as for DeFi as well, but this is more like kind of playful for me. And I think the next years will be really exciting.
I'm a big believer that gamification of everything helps a lot. That people kind of love and like doing it, right? And like you say, DeFi is a little bit dry. It's a little bit kind of very mathematical and very logical. And NFTs for sure far more fun. I fully get this, and I see a lot of cool use cases out there. I
think that's just one comment. I think that's the reason for the animals, probably because they are cute or they are funny, or maybe you can relate on it, and you can. I mean, a lot of there was this big hype about profile picture NFTs, right? And that's the animals, and there are also avatars and robots and different stuff. And I think it was one hype, and it's still getting a lot of traction, and a lot of people are going into these projects. But there are also other projects that are doing music, that are doing art, that are doing art on generative art on blockchain. So there's the space is just massive.
I want to ask you, so prices, right? So we saw the crypto market was heavily disrupted over the last couple of days, and also stock exchange, Nasdaq, and so on. How did the NFT scene respond to that? How are the prices? Is there more price stability? Is it as volatile as classic crypto? How do you see that? And if not, why is it like that?
It's quite interesting. I mean, it's a short period, so there's not the experience is limited. We have, or the data is limited. But what we could see over the last months is that when crypto was having another bull run, let's say the NFT kind of mania was in July, August, September last year, and then crypto was kind of going to the little bull run, and then kind of NFT slowed down a bit. So it was a kind of anti-cyclic a little bit. And the last months and weeks especially, NFTs are just booming, are in a bull market again. And it's, I mean, everything is crashing, and you see just prices rising on NFTs. For example, so really the blue chip projects, for example, like the apes or like, okay, the punks, they lost, but there are the cool cats, there are the doodles, there are a lot of interesting projects as well, or the clone X, and they rose steadily. And if you compare, I mean, they rose in ETH, but ETH is going like 50% down over the last months. But if you compare then in US dollar, which is where or in euros, where a lot of people are kind of paying their bills, right? Then you are really gaining and profiting in with NFTs, as long as you. Again, I'm with the ape. I think it's not the regular crypto project and or NFT project and everything is going like this. And I'm kind of, sometimes I wake up and have to make me believe that I'm not dreaming, right? But there are some projects that are really delivering value and bringing utilities, and that can also be like events, online events in the metaverse, or virtual events or real events and stuff like this. And you see it going up in ETH, but also in kind of US dollar terms when everything is crashing down. And I'm not sure, my feeling right now is that it's a little bit anti-cyclic, because I think what I also see is that a lot of people are coming into the NFT space that haven't had any crypto and any exposure and nothing to do with crypto before. And
So
I
that
think
means
for them,
that means crypto is not always the gateway drug to the NFT scene, if you want to call it. So there are really people who coming into NFTs and do the crypto game because you have to buy it in crypto. That's what you want to say, right? Okay.
I think so. So because I mean, a lot of people, like my way was the same, from crypto into NFTs, and I think that's for most of us probably. But there are also some that are like, and you have projects where you can even ramp up with fiat money, right?
Okay.
So you can pay by credit card, or you have then companies in between again, but still there are NFTs on blockchain, and you can move them. And I think this is interesting because the people they can relate to it, right? They understand, okay, I buy something and I own it then, and probably not in the technical details and the technical understanding you sometimes need when you invest in crypto or are in the DeFi space. And this might be one reason for NFTs going up when everything is going down, because I mean, now the entry is cheaper, right? Let's say if the project is stable, you ask for a volatility, you still have volatility. So the project can be now at 0.2 ETH and tomorrow it's at 1. So there are kind of, it's crazy, it's mania, it's again a lot. It has a lot to do with communities and hype and Twitter. So Twitter and Discord are the other tools where I think it's the DeFi space is more into Telegram. And for Discord, I don't know how many hours I spend on Discord on a daily basis, and I probably don't want to know. And
better.
So we also use Discord for our business, for our customer relations. And so my wife had like 3 channels, and when she sees my Discord with like, I mean, it's total crazy. And if you follow that, you can see, okay, there are some kind of waves, and then if the wave is building, right, and it's probably again was the same with the ICO hype. If the wave is building and there are some people going into certain NFT projects, and then you see, okay, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because more people are going in and the price is going up, and then it can go up very quickly and also crash down very quickly when people like go out there or pull their money out. And
Are there
it's
some
tough.
are there some people, because volume of people sometimes, like you said, doesn't mean so much, right? They come and go, they're
Yeah.
kind of master. Are there people out there in NFTs who really dictate the direction of the industry, where you see they have an opinion, and if they say that's a good project, and if they go in and if they mint that this project
Yeah.
is successful because these people are in this project, like kind of really, how do you say, yeah, people who just lead the industry.
Yeah. Yeah. The influencer game, right?
Yeah, but not
You definitely have.
like really NFT collectors, not so much like YouTubers who shill you a
Yeah.
project. More like people say, they are they are collectors that people take serious, and they have a good collection. And if Mr. X is buying it, then it has to be a blue chip or something like this. Are they out
Yeah.
there?
Yeah. You definitely have them, and not all of them are kind of. Not everyone is a fan of the power they have, and especially
Okay.
there are some where it's not clear if their business is, let's say legit, or if they just put it in their own bags, right? They're filling their own bags. But they definitely are there, and I think they are also kind of important for the space. And it's blockchain, right? Everything is open. So if you know that Mr. X has this wallet address, you can always check, okay, what's he buying, and if you see the person jumping into a project, then there is this dynamic where all the people jump in because and some of them are having like secret kind of wallets and stuff like that. But also, let's take, for example, Gary Vee. So if Gary Vee twitters a project, tweets about a project, it's really going and flowing. But he's also educating people about like the whole NFT stuff, and he's his own project as well. And there are also, he was famous before, but there are also kind of, that's OGs, original gangsters, right? That are in the space, that invested from wave one on, or that had a punk when it was not, when no one was talking about NFTs in 2017, and they bought the punks, and they were free as far as I know back then. So you definitely have these people, and some of them are, I think, taking their role also very serious, and know that they kind of has some responsibility there, and some of them probably not. And yeah, as always, you have to kind of figure out, and you can follow some or a few of them and see
Okay, get it,
if
get
they
it.
know better than you.
So we are 1 hour 10 in our talk here already. So we're gonna wrap it up. I wanna maybe at the end, for people out there, right, who wanna get into that game, what's the
Yeah.
I think everybody wants a shortcut. So can you give us a very short idea? You did this with me before as well. So where to look? You remember a couple of months ago when we've been like really
Yeah.
talking. Where do they get good information? How they can follow you as well? Because you become an educator. You have to know, guys. He's doing it in German only at the moment, right?
Right.
So how can they follow you? Who else to follow? And what's a little bit of outlook? What do you think is going to be the next big thing in the NFT space? Like as a kind of a last part of our little conversation here.
If I would know that, then
Yeah, give us your best shot.
but yeah,
What do you
yeah.
think? What's the story? Is it utility? Is it just like, what's the thing in your opinion?
Yeah. So when you start, I think it's there are this kind of persons, and there are some blogs, and they have Twitter accounts who you can follow. As I said, Gary Vee might be, if you like him or not.
It's his brother,
It's
right?
maybe a different story.
Yeah.
But I think he's educating, and also in his projects he has some kind of. So I believe what he says, at least. You have the Matty, the DCL blogger. You have some punks with the numbers on Twitter. I can share some of that in my either we put it in the show notes, or I do it in
Cool.
the.
That would be really good.
I send you some.
Fabian's best of links, for example. Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, we can do that. Or Zeneca _33 is one of them that I follow closely. So there are a few. people you can start following. And I think it's what I want to do, the podcast. So yeah, listen to the podcast, guys, if you want to dig
Fabian,
into the,
absolutely.
at least if you speak German, because I think there's lots of material in English, but not everyone is speaking English or understanding it that well. And so I decided to do something for the German speaking. Might be that there are some English guests coming as well. Probably I will translate them after. But anyhow, if you speak German, follow the podcast, because that's exactly what I want to do, because it's still quite hard to start. I think you have to put in a lot of hours, and there's right now not an easy shortcut where I would say, okay, read that book and you've done your homework and then you can start. It's
you
right now.
You have to write a book, actually. I mean,
it would be
your wife's an author.
Yeah.
You have a publishing company. You do writing workshops. You are becoming, or you are already an NFT specialist. It's time to write a book, my friend.
Okay, you
About
have to
NFTs.
click S again. In every message, just ask me how the book is doing.
How's the book going, mate? How is it going? I'm gonna remind you. You can be sure.
Yeah, I'm sure of that. But yeah, maybe this. I think so. The podcast is the first step for it, and I will do some writing as well. And I think I see it happening right now that there are more educators and also some nice Discord groups. You definitely have to go to Discord if you want to dig into. And I can also recommend some groups where you can find information. And then I think you just have to, in the beginning, do a little bit of reading, getting kind of feeling of what is the space about. It's because there is no like one NFT strategy, right? And
there's not one
use
DeFi
case.
strategy is similar, right? There's not
right,
one strategy. Yeah.
And so you can't say, okay, do A, B, and C, and then it's a road to success. And even people are, if you want to have the flip game, maybe you just mint everything and put it on the secondary market for 2 and 3x, and this might be successful, especially in times right now. And then you have to wait for the next bull run again. But it also depends on what you want to do, right? Do you want to have it as a kind of investment? Do you want to add it to your portfolio just for investing purposes? Do you want to be part of a community? Then I would say, look at what interests you. And and also what is probably getting big this year. I think there's not this one thing. At least I cannot imagine what the one thing is, because I can imagine we see NFTs like going or really starting in a few different spaces. One of them is, I think, gaming. So all the whole GameFi area. We had this Axis Infinity hype last year. We have kind of Wolf Game is one right now. And you see this, and you also see some kind of, let's say, investment games where you have or it's a kind of decision making, right? Decision making strategies. So you can buy an NFT and then you can buy another one, and they merge. And so you have to have a strategy, and you don't know what's happening next. So one artist who is doing this, Puck, for example, and it's just crazy. So you buy one NFT, you buy another one, and they merge together. So you only have one. The other one is kind of burned. And then you can do something with it, and you can maybe burn it and get something different, but you don't know if you need it or not. And so as you probably noticed, it's crazy. And I think what I see right now, that this kind of, at least strategies are getting more into projects. So not a few months ago, every project has to have a roadmap, right? They had to promise, okay, of course you get the NFT, but then you get an airdrop of something, and then you get probably some kind of a token. And then there was a discussion, oh, is this securities? Oh yeah, then we don't do a token. Oh, we do a token, and it's a kind of governance token. And DAOs is another thing, which is kind of related to token again. But I think we will see more and more DAOs this year. So decentralized autonomous organizations. I'm sure you've heard of a few of them, and one of them is buying a golf course, I think. So maybe you jump right into the DAO.
So that means
But
if you own the NFT, you've got a membership on the golf course. So they bring additional features and additional possibilities to that NFT then.
Yeah. So it's kind of, the one thing is, I think, fundraising. So they need, of course, the money to buy the golf course, and it's not just something out there in the desert. I think they really want to go for the top 100 or something. And then if you buy this NFT, so you put in your funds in, and they have the fundraising, and then you're part of the DAO, right? And the community decides what to do with so how to run it, and and you can be active there. And so there's a lot of community decisions and discussions already in a lot of projects, but the DAO is kind of the next level for it, because you kind of vote also with your money or with your tokens, right? And I see this. I can imagine that something is happening with music, but I'm not so deep into that. I can't even say what. So music NFTs, okay, but what does this mean exactly? So it's really.
But it's going in so many directions, as I see, right? And you see so many opportunities there. I think that's the cool thing, that it's a little bit more variations than in DeFi. Okay, cool.
And it's probably easier because you don't have. I mean, you get probably tokens, or you have to understand Web3 to a certain degree, so that you have kind of your wallet, and okay, never ever give away your private keys. And also, by the way, I don't know if you have to tell us, this is not financial advice. Don't buy NFTs, because I'm fascinating by it. Only monkeys.
Fabian said you buy you after that podcast, after the Fireside Chat, you go and buy a monkey, and you're gonna be rich, and it's always gonna be okay. Vice versa at the end. Hey Fabian, I thought we're gonna run out of topics, but I think we could do like 3 or 4 episodes of NFTs, and we haven't even touched the idea about bringing NFTs to DeFiChain, what is actually on the roadmap.
So exciting.
We're gonna continue. We're gonna do another talk about ideas, NFT and DeFiChain. There's so many more things to discuss, but we are 1 hour 20 already. I think it's the longest Fireside Chat we had so far. I think I want to close here. Hey, it was awesome to have you. Thanks for sharing your journey and being so transparent what you did. Last short question, really short. When are you going to sell your Bored Ape?
So you probably never should be emotional with your investments, right? I'm quite emotional with that, so I don't have an answer. So I'm always, my wife asked this question quite a few times, and I was like, I don't sell it. I don't know if this is. Let's talk 1 or 2 or 5 years from now if that's a good decision or not.
Cool.
But right now, I don't plan
out
to
of
sell.
The question. So you wouldn't give it to me for 80 ETH today or something like this? No way.
Let me think. No.
No. Okay, cool. I like that. You're committed. That's very important. Hey, Fabian, thanks again, Mr. Firewalker, for coming in, for showing us your NFT world. Guys, if you like the show, leave us a like. Thanks for joining tonight, and follow Fabian on his NFT journey in his podcast. And we linked already his Twitter accounts down in the show notes. So reach out to him. I'm sure he's a real nice guy. If you have questions, get in touch with him. He's part of our community here. That's why he was on here. And I hope you really enjoyed it. And see you soon, guys. Let me just find the right button to finish off here. And I hope you enjoyed the show. And if you're gonna join us next month again, it's gonna be big fun. Fabian, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Have a great evening. Take care. Bye-bye.